We are back today with another review, and today we are reviewing Knight Rider, the board game. So this is a nice vintage 80s board game that is based on the hit TV series Knight Rider. Look at that nice picture of Kit. Pretty sweet. A high-speed adventure game, I would say absolutely so. Brought to you by Parker Brothers, and again, pretty close adaptation to how you could actually portray some kind of an adventure TV show involving high-speed chases, battles, and all kinds of shenanigans on the open road. So without further ado, let's hop right into the review. So I got the game board set up here. And what I'll do is I'll just explain the game board itself, then I'll kind of go into how the gameplay is done and how the objective of the game can be won. So to start all off, basically how you see is the board is kind of looped around in these circles. There's these yellow gas stations scattered throughout the road. You have multiple starting points here. We have the 4 players, which start on the outer perimeter, and then you have Kit, who starts in the center here. You have 1 dice that you use, and this has only even numbers, and it goes from 2 to 12. So 2 to 12, only even numbers. And then you can also see how each one of the players has a specific little car, and we'll look at those. So each car is the same for the players, but the Kit car is just a little bit different. As you can see the profile here, it's a little bit more long. You put them front to front, it's a little bit more wide. And it looks more like a sporty car versus this one. It just looks like a sedan. So we'll put those back in their little spots. And then you'll notice there's red dots all over the board. Now those are the troubled zones, is what we'll call them now, because that's what the game refers to them as. And those are areas where you can gain dollar amounts, and those dollar amounts will add up as your score, and that will essentially denote the winner of the game. We'll go to that in a little bit more detail a little later on. So basically you have this board that you're traversing. You're playing as many players as you have, but you'd at least need 2 to get the game going, because one person would have to be Kit and one person would have to be one of the other colors. So optimally, if you have 5 people playing, you have a really nice adventure, action-packed game, because you got a lot of stuff going on throughout the entire board. So the cards that you see here, these are how basically the dynamics of the interchange between the players and Kit are, and these are the action tiles, or the player tiles, and we'll explain that in a little bit. But those tiles, each player has a specific one that's coded to their specific color, and even there is a set for Kit. So as you're traversing through the board here, the only one who essentially can go to the troubled spots is going to be Kit. So the other players' purpose is basically to try to either gain control of the Kit car, or block and try to stop the Kit car from going to the troubled spots to get the dollar amount that's underneath. Now, the person who gets control of the Kit car from the beginning of the game is the person who rolls the highest number on the die. So every player who's participating would roll the dice. The person with the highest roll would become the Kit car driver from the beginning. Now, the Kit car driver starts off the game. They roll the dice and they move as many spaces as the dice denotes. Now, the nice thing about these gas stations is it helps you move and traverse through the board, because if you land on the gas station tile, it allows you to roll a second time. So potentially, normally you only get 1 roll, but if you land on the gas station tile, you can get 2 rolls essentially. So that's nice too. So that'll help you clean up the board a lot faster. Now again, when I said that the other cars and the other players' goals is to disrupt the Kit's car from getting to all the trouble zones and collecting the cash payouts there to essentially win the game, what they're going to do is they can challenge the Kit car to a game of chicken by basically landing on the exact same space as the Kit car. And that's what you do when you have the whole, all 4 players going against the Kit car. It's almost like hot pursuit. So you got a bunch of people trying to go after the player who is the Kit car controller, and I imagine the Kit car gets passed around a lot when you have more players involved with the game. So when you challenge the person who is in control of the kit car to a game of chicken, when you land on the same space, essentially what you do is you'll have, your hand right here, which will be, one side of the road will be the car will be on the right, and one will be on the left. So basically what you do is you're trying to line up, which one's it going to be. Are we going to go head to head, or am I going to go past it and the passenger is going to win, and then they'll gain control of the kit car? So basically what you're trying to do is, as the passenger, you're trying to go past the kit car, and as the kit car, you're trying to go head to head and play chicken with it, because you'll win the game of chicken. So, and you'll remain the controller of the kit car. So whoever challenges you, as long as you go head to head, you win every time. So, and I'll show you those outcomes right now. So let's say the yellow driver, they choose their card and they say, okay, I'm gonna pass on the left. So they put their card down, and then the kit car controller says, okay, I'm going to say, let's pass on the right. So they'll pass on the right, and they put it down. And now you reveal both cards, and as you go head to head, you can see they actually played chicken. So when they play chicken, the game rules say that if it lines up like this, kit wins. So if you're a kit, you remain control of the kit car. The passenger vehicle just stays where they are. The kit car plays on, they actually roll next. So they'll actually go back to rolling and collecting their trouble spots. But the passenger vehicle will just stay where it's at. So let's say it went the other way. It goes the other way, and let's say the kit car driver, he chose to swerve to the right. Swerves to the right, the passenger passes the game of chicken. The passenger now becomes the controller of the kit car. So, and then that allows them to go to the trouble spots and gain as much loot as they can from those spots as well. It's a little confusing, but the most confusing part for me was the fact that the kit car is the only one that can go to the trouble spots. But to me, that makes sense, because it's the only way that you're going to be able to, police the game for gameplay to be an extended amount, unless the game board was set up differently. But the way it's set up right now, you kind of have to have these trouble spots. These gas stations are neat for a little bit of a booster for you to get. Possibly 2 if you get lucky rolls each turn, depending on where the gas station location is to where the ones that you need are. But yeah, it would be probably more, I guess, more adventuresome if it was just maybe a little bit bigger board and it was a little bit of a different objective. But again, everyone's going to want to be the kit car no matter what. So you kind of have to make it fair, where at least you're doing something where it's random, like a game of chicken. It's almost like a game of war. You're basically doing to gain control of the kit car. But the objective, the adventure of the game is neat, because you're basically running from your teammates, your players that are in hot pursuit of you. So you're basically running around the board if you're the kit person, or you're chasing the kit car. So it's always some kind of an adventure. So I guess in a way, they're right. It is a high-speed adventure game brought to you by Parker Brothers. So my review on this game, I think, is really awesome. I like the fact that I was able to get a copy of this that's in such pristine quality. And yeah, I do think that this would be a better play if you had 5 people that were basically going at it on this game, instead of just having 2 or 3 people that are playing it. So if you have a large group and you want to try this game out, give it a whirl. Let us know how it was in the comments below. So yeah. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, give it a subscribe to this channel, and have a great rest of your day.